But was it all that easy? Was there still waiting for Jungkook? Can he now stand in front of hateful eyes? These are the questions that Jungkook did not have an answer to. But Jimin's kindness gave him some courage. Jimin had given him their address. Jimin had done his job. Jungkook told Layla everything the next day, and Layla was very happy. She wanted to see her best friend happy. She knew Jungkook's happiness was with them. So she advised him to go to Paris, and she said to do whatever Jimin said. Now it's your turn to win. There has to be realized, and this is your last chance. So Jungkook did what his best friend and Jimin said. He flew to Paris, and Jimin received him at the airport and gave him Dion's old house to stay. Dion knew nothing. He knew that Jimin guest was from Korea, but Dion didn't have any idea who he was. Well, 2 days passed peacefully. One day suddenly, Yoongi's scream started coming from his office room. It happened that Jimin met Yoongi and told him about Jungkook. Yoongi had hated Jungkook, but he hated anyone who made his brother cry. So he got angry at Jimin and went outside. But hearing Jimin cry, he stopped. Jimin was like there to him. Jimin always support there. Jimin took care of there for years. Jimin was also right about there. So Yoongi sat silently in front of him. And like that, a few days later, Jungkook and Yoongi met. As soon as Yoongi met Jungkook for the first time, he did something that he had never done before. As soon as he asked Jungkook in, he punched him, caused him to fall to the floor. His leg hurt, but he remained silent. Yoongi insulting him and told him how his brother spent this 1 year. Jungkook listened silently. He was older than Yoongi, but he had made a biggest mistake, and he had to be punished. Reassured Yoongi and promised that he will never break their heart again. Just help him accept it. Yoongi did. Yoongi didn't say anything at first, but then a few weeks later, he offered to help Jungkook, and Jungkook was grateful. Now Jungkook was not alone. Their brother was also help him. But he also said that he will help only for a time. Jungkook has to win their heart himself. To which Jungkook said yes. But this was a big mistake of their brother and his best friend Jimin. A few days later, when Jimin told that he meet Jungkook in Korea and he apologized to him. Not only this, he also asked for their address and he told him. After that, they fight with his best friend for the first time in his life. And not only that, he ended all ties with him. He wasn't ready to forgive Jungkook to see his face too. He started crying instead of being happy. He remembered the past. When he stood at the door, he was shivering with the cold. How much he played it. He had cold, but Jungkook didn't feel sorry for him. So why should they pity anyone today? When Jungkook can leave him, they can live without him. What they suffer in Korea still has an impact on their heart. Yes, he still wanted Jungkook and he was sure that his heart only wanted Jungkook, but that doesn't mean he should forgive him easily. He was not ready to forgive him, and that was the reason why he ended his relationship with Jimin. When he found out that Yoongi forgave Jungkook, he couldn't bear it. He kept the past time in front of his brother. When Yoongi heard his brother's words, he felt hurt. Bila was very angry with Yoongi, but she was silent. They had locked himself in the room, and then he didn't talk to Yoongi. Moving on now. He started to love himself. So now he doesn't understand why people are telling him to meet Jungkook again. Yoongi told him to forgive Jungkook and to give him a second chance. The brother who used to hate Jungkook is feeling sorry for Jungkook today. And the pen that they adore has been forgotten by all. That's why he ended everything. All of them used to tell him to move on, and now they are all telling him embrace the past. And most important, Jia. There was nothing like that between Lala and Jungkook, he admit. While Jia blaming him, Jungkook listened silently. How could he forget that? So he started spending more time in the studio. But one evening, when he was leaving the studio, a man was standing in front of his door, wearing a black velvet coat. Maybe someone was waiting. They stood behind him. Listen, sir, are you waiting for someone? I would appreciate it if you stood away from the door. This is the entrance of my studio, please. The man slowly turned, their eyes big in surprise. In front of him was the person who kept him alive, gave him all that he cried for. In front of him was his first love. It was his oldie. It was his Jungkook.